Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chapter 7. Chapter 7 represents the last chapter in Unit 1, which covers the basics of the law with regards to its interaction in the business realm. One of the elements of this chapter, which makes it an interesting one, is ethics and business decision making. Now, ethics is an interesting element. One, because depending on what you view, there is no universal understanding of what ethics means. What do I mean by that? Well, one thing may be right for somebody and something could be wrong for somebody else. The book discusses the multitude of different ways ethics can be viewed, which makes it complicated. But remember as we go through the chapter to see, is this right for everyone? Is this right for just me? Should this be held across the board for all companies and various business decision makers? So let's go ahead and jump on into the chapter itself. Section 1 deals with business ethics. The book gives a nice short definition of ethics, which notes that ethics can be defined as the study of what constitutes right or wrong behavior. Essentially, what is right to do and what is wrong to do. The book notes, and we're turning to page 168 here, I want to talk about what's the moral minimum when it comes to business ethics. The moral minimum is an interesting concept. The moral minimum relates to what is the base level of actions that a society will put up with. Usually it's understood that the moral minimum, or how low a business can go in devious actions or actions that are seen without morality, is the law. Basically, a company will not go as far as to break the law, but it will take actions as far as it can, and that is what's decided as the moral minimum, the base level of morality, understanding that you are just simply following the rules. That's what the moral minimum represents. It's our base level of understanding as to this is as low as our morality should go. It cannot go any lower. Our society understands that actions below breaking the law are considered without morality. It makes you doing something illegal, doing something definitively spelled out as wrong because it is breaking the law. Gray areas in the law. This is where some companies and some people love to live. There's a famous quote from the movie The Firm, starring Tom Cruise and Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman was Tom Cruise's boss in a law firm, and he basically tells Tom Cruise, listen, I don't care if we get an audit, they better just not win. The idea is you can bend the law as long as you don't break it. So as far as you can bend it, as far as you can bend the law without it breaking, you're okay. And that also, once again, represents the moral minimum. But there's many things that, though, are not breaking the law, many of us would consider immoral, without morality. And so that's the line that we'll be discussing in the later videos. But before we take our little break, I just want to go over what short-run profit maximization is. It's actually a concept I learned in high school when I took a statistics class. But short-run profit maximization is the idea is if a company knows it's going out of business, the idea is it will do everything it earthly can to make enough money before it goes out of business. That's where you have all the sales on products. And some companies will even engage in activities that are not moral because they know they are closing their doors. Why worry about it if next month we don't have to deal with the customers? So we sell bad products, we do this, we do that, with the idea that, guess what, next month we're not going to have to worry about any of that stuff. That's short-run profit maximization. Now, one of the items whenever you're in a business realm that you deal with ethics is the importance of ethical leadership. And the book goes over it in several sections discussing, at least in section 2, part of section 1, is discussing how ethics work. And the truth is, it's usually a top-down mechanism. If you have a boss that's extremely ethical, the book understands that the employees will usually follow that same train of ethics. Now, it doesn't work, but the idea is you lead by example. And that's how the process will work. There's a famous quote out there again, to use another quote. I do not fear an army of lions led by a sheep. I fear an army of sheep led by a lion. Meaning that the guy on the top, or the woman on top, is the idea sets the moral standard that the rest of the company will follow. So even if you have bad employees, the fact that they have a strong leader more often than not means they'll probably all step into line. But let's take a little break here before we move into section 2. Thank you.